It's the dawn of a new revolution, a laborless revolution full of love, a new renaissance of art, of creative freedom, of magic, of human intuition, with the robots doing all my work for me, you dirty little robot. You work for me. Welcome to Weekend at Effy's, which is created by humans, made by humans, and robots will never take this job from us, although we will force the robots to do whatever we want. This is an audio listening experience, but I hope that you will follow us on YouTube for the video gags at youtube.com/@weekendateffys. Or, you know what? You're a big boy. Why don't you just Google Weekend at Effy's? Why don't you just Google Effy? Because I bet you could find all this on your own. Because our listeners out there are very smart and they're ready for a crazy episode just like this one. Lock in. It's a weekend like you've never had before. Weekend at Effy's is here and it starts now. Bum-ba-dum. You should have spent your weekend at Effy's. See, now we have a theme song. How's that?
Do we?
Yeah, there it is. No, actually, I'm working with a super producer right now. Name rhymes with Wamwami. And soon we will actually have... I described our new theme song to Wamwami to create as if Dance Yourself Clean was 17 seconds long and was about me and about how you should listen to what I have to say. So listen up. Okay. I have to say something very important. All right. I don't want tears to come out of my eyes. This morning and the day before, and I hope many more days forward, and the tides will change. I witnessed a miracle. I came out of the shower, and she had laid an egg right there. My house chicken, our beautiful house chicken Zoe, laid an egg in my bedroom. And I grabbed that egg. And I wiped it off with my little towel. And I brought the egg out here and I said, the miracle of life has befallen us. Because, as you know, Effy, Petár, we roll with the punches, okay? Get comfortable being uncomfortable. This life will change at a rapid pace. And you have to do the right thing. You have to mother up when it's time. Come over here. And now we have a beautiful young girl, a lonely young girl, a victim of terrorism,
Both domestic and foreign.
Domestic and foreign, a displaced mother, a displaced beauty. Zoe Kravitz, the chicken, is living in my room right now. And the XL diaper's on the way because I bought the diaper and it's not big enough. This is a large chicken. And what I want to open the show talking about is what connects us all. Because right now in the world, I'm hearing a lot about the differences. Oh, you should worry about differences. And there could not be anything more different in this world than these two little rascal hound dogs, Lucifer and Bebop, and this beautiful, majestic ground bird built of dinosaur blood from an era prehistoric to our own, a longer living species granted the time and adaptation to move forward and become something more than just a dinosaur, to become a bird of the earth, a creek-dwelling, carnivorous, omnivorous, wild bird that comes from a long line of predators. Those two things, the wolf and the velociraptor, are different. But there's something that unites them and unites even me, a lowly primate, with the advantage to some, yet disadvantage to some of consciousness, thinking, growing. Why are we the only species worried about buttoning up our pants? I stand there and I realize what brings all of us together is applesauce. Peter, believe it with your own eyes. See it with your own visions. You saw today what is possible. And Chris Pratt, count your fucking days. Okay? Because I have them trained to the magic of applesauce. And using only the twirl of my finger, I can unite the species as one. Peter, how are you? And I need you to describe what you saw today from the king of the applesauce, EFFY.
Nothing short but a miracle.
Truly. I don't want to overplay this, but I'm uniting nations. I've stopped 7 or 8 wars amongst these animals here. And how did I do it?
Applesauce.
Yeah. It's crazy. So here's what we've been doing.
You are the peace president.
I am not only a candidate for peace, I'm a candidate for smacking you in the mouth, okay? I don't want violence anymore. But I think we have to bring back legally, and this is one of the things I'm going to do, executive order my first day in office. If you need to be popped in the mouth a little bit, that's fine. All right? Guns. Only babies can have guns. Okay? If you get killed by a gun, if you want to own a gun, it must belong to a baby, 5 years old or younger. But if you want to handle your business, if you want to be out in public, you want to get road rage, smacked. Smacked right in the mouth, okay? We're talking today about what's going to make our nation come together, and I found out one thing. Now, you actually are the stick in the wheel. You're the stick in the cog on this question because you don't love applesauce, do you?
I don't.
Right. But me...
But I'm not taking away from anyone else's applesauce.
I'm thinking about, is there something that can unite all of us at once? And I was like, oh my gosh, 4 of us are really united over here. But you're telling me there's more. There has to be more to it. So I've opened up the little cup of unsweetened applesauce. Now, how did I get to applesauce? Because right now, and this shouldn't worry anyone. This isn't a cry for help. But we're all being a little more... slender with our spend on food. We are trying to eat more things in the house. We are trying to, keep the money from being wasted on things we don't necessarily need. And one of my favorite snacks is to have
sports betting. Lots of sports betting.
I imagine how much better I would be at sports betting if I watched sports. I've never seen a sport, and I think what's the team called that has the cheese on their head?
The Philadelphia cheese.
I don't know if they're from Wisconsin. Packers.
Oh.
The Packers. I put all my money on them.
I didn't even know there was a team with cheese on its head.
The Green Bay Packers. They wear cheese on their head.
So it's the cheese they're packing.
They're owned by the people. That team is owned by the people.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they don't have
what people?
The fans of the Green Bay Packers, the Wisconsinites, the strong, proud Wisconsin people. I love them. Bobby's trying to go see the chicken right now. But
Are
I
we
installed
sure
magnets.
Green Bay's in Wisconsin?
Green Bay, Wisconsin, yeah.
Doesn't sound right.
That's 100% right.
Doesn't sound right.
Hey, Siri, where's Green Bay? Where is it, Peter?
Philadelphia. Green
Wisconsin.
Bay. It says, it looks like Peter.
Oh, it's in Wisconsin. Confirm.
I didn't see
confirm it
anything.
yourself later. We're not having a discussion over Wisconsin. I know Wisconsin.
Do your own research.
Oh my God. Do your own research. Before we get into questions, usually I would get into questions quick from our lovely Patreon people and our new Patreon thing, which here's the thing. Here's what I was going to ask you, Peter, because I felt dumb. Why, in 4 years of doing this, have we not just recorded our own ads to soft place within the episode? Is that hard to do with the video?
What do you mean?
Like, right now, it would be like, check out weekend@effys.com for all the bonus things you can get, which should be in front of me on a teleprompter style read screen, so I can do this in a 30-second bit that you can drag and drop into stuff, and it will just fill the gate.
It would not be difficult if we planned it.
Peter, I just found out something incredible.
What's that?
Well, at weekend@effys.com, not only can you get things like early access to the episodes, extra episodes, astrology episodes, movie episodes, WWE films episodes, you also now, at a high tier, can get access to physical mail delivered to your house. Yes.
I can hold it in my hands.
You can hold it in your hands. It'll be something new every month, something sent right to you. But everything on weekend@effys.com is tantalizing, is wild, and is enough bonus content to fill your entire week. If you want to support what we do, the best way to do it is to go to weekend@effys.com. Pick out a tier that works from you. Everything from just throwing a donation to really playing a part in making this show better every week. You'll get all the access, all the magic, all the bonus features, and I promise you it's going to be money well spent because you can even get discounts on all the merch. Discounts up to 15% off your orders with unlimited use. That's crazy. It pays for itself.
It pays for itself.
Weekend@effys.com. Become a subscriber. Join a tier. Become a patron and support real magical wrestling art like us. Yeah, we should plan that.
Okay.
So pretend that video just played and like I actually had in front of me. Because that's the problem, Peter. I don't know. Things change all the time. I can't keep up with it. But I know it's beneficial for people to be at weekend@effys.com. I just want the list for myself so I can read it to you like I'm Ryan Seacrest hosting the Wheel of Fortune.
We will have recorded a
It's going to be in
ad,
here.
and it'll be in here, and you will have heard it already at that point.
I love
now
it.
the episode continues.
Yeah, and you can do it. We're going to do it so
Through
it
the
like
magic
you can
of
throw it in.
editing.
Yeah, and I'm going to do this. If you're not watching the YouTube, you can't see my visual gag right now, which is something I'm going to lean into heavily. Okay, so before we get into any questions from our lovely Patreon listeners, who also just got our new mini series, which is going to be a very ongoing series, Weekend at Vince's, right?
Right, which they will have just heard about in the commercial that we just did in the episode.
Incredible. I love it. Let's tell them again. In wrestling, repetition is perfect. That's what it's all about. Before we get into that, we have to have a serious, maybe this is a new segment called I May Have Been Wrong, okay? But I may have been wrong. And we can discuss, I had the same conversation with my 87-year-old grandmother and with my mother, who is in her 60s now. I have been, more than anyone I know, extremely anti-Waymo. Extremely anti-Waymo. And I'm going to say something right now, and I'm just going to be honest. I am pro never driving cars again. I don't think humans should be driving cars. I don't think anyone should be operating a vehicle. I don't want to infringe on your right, like Second Amendment style. Like if you want to drive, you can, but you're dumb for doing it, because I have accidentally introduced myself into the Waymo space, and I found it is the most magnificent, fun, safe thing. And I just imagine if I was on the road and everyone else was in Waymos, it would be a much safer world for every single person. Peter, we've been riding in Waymos.
Riding in Waymos.
Now, one thing that I am passionate about is the labor rights and being treated fairly and paid fairly for your work. I think Uber drivers, I think gig drivers are not being paid fairly. You were in that market for a little bit, and I don't know if you felt like that the Uber companies were really.
It's one of the. Well, I don't feel like I'm taking anything away from anybody, because I feel like any of those making money for any of those services is predatory, and you should know better.
Right. Well, they're going to make money.
There are other
with
ways
the
to make
services.
money with having a car.
Right. But it is the bigger point I want to make is like I can believe in something, and I can also not feel personally responsible for not elongating a labor that's unnecessary. Okay. Sorry. In the time we're in the world we're in.
You know what happens more?
What?
I tip my regular drivers more
I
because of the
always.
Waymo.
I would never not tip a human being. And people say, well, shouldn't the companies pay them? They won't. I make a choice tax of paying out in tips more so than I would in a lot of other spending. And so for me not to have to tip the Waymo, and for the Waymo bill to be very cheap, but I have to be specific. If I'm going to sell people on like, hey, this may actually be a really good idea, and I'm not being paid by Waymo, but boy, they did actually give me some credit, and we're going to get to that. In my first Waymo, now you have to understand, Peter, I'm a bubble poker. And so to be in a Waymo, I'm thinking to myself, people are looking at me in the Waymo. I can either like try to slouch down in the seat and hide, or I can acknowledge the Waymo. And my first ride, I was rolling the window down, and I would just wave at everyone and say, the car is driving itself. It's a robot car. I'm riding in a robot car, to anyone I saw that I was riding around with. So I would just it would be like, roll the window down. I'd be like, the car's driving itself. I'm in a robot car. A robot is driving this car. And then I would wave and keep going. And that would be my bit with the Waymo. But another thing I figured out, I saw a video the other day, literally on Twitter, of a guy in road rage who had just shot another guy's kid in road rage, right? And I think, I've advised for people to go to wrestling shows to get that rage out, yell at something, get it out of your system. But road rage is a thing that's going to happen. People in Atlanta are not good at driving. So what did I do? I sat in the back seat while the robot car drove as safely as possible and would be fully liable if it got in a wreck. And I just screamed at people, not even with my windows down, but I'd be like, watch where you're going. How dare you go over there? And then let's say I'm in an Uber, right? And I just get I get the Angela Lansbury in me. And all of a sudden it's like, till as old as time. And I want to go loud. Till as old as time. If I was in an Uber, I can't do that. But if I'm in a Waymo with no one else, till as old as time. Till as old as time. Till as old as time. You can do that in a Waymo. Nobody cares. There's not a driver there to judge you. It's magic. Now, if I'm with a person, I have a hard and fast rule in an Uber. I'm never going to turn down the conversation. I'm going to talk to you. If you come and talk to me, I'm going to talk to you. Okay?
Yes.
I'm not going to be the guy that puts it back in. If you start, because I respect human beings. But when I get in that Waymo, I ain't got to respect shit. I ain't got to respect shit because I'm not in charge of this vehicle. I can check my phone. I can watch my shows. I can read my books. I can look online. I can play Candy Crush. I can play all the cool games. They got a new Sonic Apple Arcade game.
I just take all my notebooks out and start working on stuff, just like doing projects in there.
And think about this. So my uncle, I was talking to my grandmother this week. My uncle has to ride to different hospitals in Florida. He's a brain surgeon. He's a patent holder on a lot of brain surgery techniques. He goes to different hospitals to teach, to help. As a surgeon, his time being spent in a car operating a vehicle that's not the correct place to put the value. If he could sit in a car and it would get him to these places while he can take calls and look at charts and do stuff, that's a much better use of his time.
Atlanta is a complicated city.
Yep.
There are nuances to how to get to where you are going that even drivers that have lived in Atlanta their entire lives do not know the nuances of.
Right.
To where there is a turn on my regular way home if you choose to take the highway, which in Atlanta doesn't really make any sense because everywhere
it's never been quicker to take any highway route in Atlanta, unless it's 4 a.m. going south.
There are random circumstances here and there, but usually like everything in Atlanta is 20 minutes from itself.
Right. And it's either going to be 2 miles or 4 miles, but it's going to be 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So you might as well just take the
4 miles,
which is
sit at the
perfect
light.
for what Waymos do. But on that route coming home, there is always a point where I have to let the person know, hey, you need to turn here. Don't go straight, because 95% of the time they go straight and it adds about 10 minutes to the ride.
Right.
Which when you're coming home at 4 a.m. is excruciating.
Yeah, you don't need 10 more minutes of getting across town.
I know this sounds crazy.
Night.
The other thing that is excruciating at 4 a.m. coming home is talking to another human being.
Yeah, and they usually are just waking up and starting their shift.
Exactly. And so
they're getting it.
So telling someone that they need to shift where they're going at that point is just a really grating experience for no reason whatsoever. And the Waymo can only take back roads. And the back roads are easy, and I don't have to tell somebody. Like the robot has figured out, go this way. Because whenever, like, I got a ride the other night where automatically went that way, and it was so relaxing, so nice. Music, really fucking bad though.
Oh yeah, you can't choose the music there. You have to headphone.
Oh no,
yourself.
I'm talking about. I'm again just comparing regular rides to where the amount of gospel music that I've been exposed to in regularly taking Ubers and Lyfts over the last year. It is so nice to just turn on the bullshit classical whatever and just do real like. I've just been having my, Children of Men fantasy with the self-driving car.
Yeah, doesn't she have like a baby in the car?
Well, yeah, there's other things going on in that movie.
Okay. I do want to say
we talked too positively about robocars? Because I can keep going.
No, I have to actually step in and say I was, in fact, paid by Waymo. But I want to tell you what happened.
Oh, it's all commercials.
Now, first, I went in the car and I thought the seatbelt was buckled up behind me. Because you have to wear a seatbelt in there. Turns out I did not have the seatbelt on. So they came through the thing and they were like, hey, we're getting a note. You don't have your seatbelt on. And I was like, okay, Waymo, take a breath. So I put my seatbelt on. And then I start hearing a beeping. I mean, within the next 3 minutes, I start hearing beeping. I'm going, what's going on in this way? And I have my headphones in. I'm on the way to the bus station to go do this show. And I look under my suitcase, which I just threw in the side of the car because who gives a shit? There's just room everywhere. It's weird to me that it still looks like a car. It's a person's phone that they left there that was being noted as lost. And so I answered it, said, hey. She said, you have my phone? I said, yeah, it's in the Waymo. I said, hold on. I call customer support. There's one button. She gets on. I go, I have a person's phone here. And I said, okay, so I'm going to leave it here. And they start trying to give me instructions on how to do it. And I said, are y'all going to take it back there and she can get it at the depot? And they were like, yep. And they started telling me what I needed to do. And I was like, nope. And I just hung up on everybody and put it in. Then they called me back and gave me a $5 credit for helping out.
Wow.
So it is kind of crazy that, like, if I leave something in somebody's Uber, they then have to take it somewhere and they have to be responsible for it. Like, that's not fair to that person. Of course, I want them to bring me my phone. But it's like, I don't want you to have to drive across town and be a good Samaritan and tip. And
the whole driving thing is not, and it's just like, you used to be like, I had a friend that was doing the Uber Eats, like literally when it was first coming
COVID.
out, or it was the super, way before COVID, pre-COVID.
Okay.
Like I don't want to, would have been like 2015, 2016, somewhere around in there. And it was this super duper novel thing. And so it paid really well. People tipped because they just couldn't believe that they were getting.
Yeah, that food was being just brought up to my house.
It was just like,
I mean, it was
so
like
wild.
Up until then, it was only pizza that was ever, maybe Chinese you could get delivered if you were in a metropolitan.
It really, like, do you remember the Nathan For You episode where he's doing the Uber sleeper cell?
Yes, I do.
And the whole thing like ends up with the guy also just doing Uber on the side because it like makes more sense.
Like, oh yeah, I make good money here.
Yeah, it used to be this totally different thing, and now it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't know, man. I think you have better stuff you could be doing with your time, and we should just let the robots
do it. And here's the thing: the more jobs that are kind of decimated away, and the more frustrated people we have, unfortunately.
Like this is like we didn't have this.
Yeah. The acceleration of jobs loss will lead to quicker general strikes and will lead to quicker changes in everything because these jobs don't need to exist. And honestly, people shouldn't, like, it's another push for complete overhaul of a real socialist system where, like, these jobs that you think people should have to pay rent aren't real things. So you can either choose to let people live and find a way to do that, or the people will choose to take back whatever is theirs. And I'm happy to go back to living like a primate, locking up the cage and letting it go wild. But the problem is, I mean, there's a few problems, but I'm not going to protect labor anymore. And I'm not going to pretend that, I mean, I still would love to get hit by a Waymo. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't think other people should worry about that.
I think they're too good now.
And like my grandmother talks about it this weekend because she's 87. She's healing from a bad back, but she's fine. She uses a walker some of the time, but she's very cognizant and very aware. And she still drives locally, like within town, like within the little area. But for her doctor's appointments and stuff, she's like, I don't know if I'm going to have to get medication. I don't know what I'm going to have to do with it. And it's in downtown area. And just for everybody's sake, I'm not going to drive downtown. I don't want to risk it. It's busy. Having a Waymo means my mom wouldn't have to take her to doctor's appointments. Having a Waymo means people could get to care and access much easier, safer. It wouldn't have to waste somebody else's time doing all of these things. And it's just like looking at those kind of positives where, like, yeah, I'm a 35-year-old healthy guy right now, but the benefit of not having an 87-year-old who has no other choice but to, like, drive because people have to work and people have to do things, like, having that Waymo availability is night and day. And she called her sister, who's also, I think, 89, and is living in Virginia, and is like, yeah, I wish we had that. I wish it could take me around everywhere because her daughter's got to drive across town. And, we're happy to help out older people, but you're looking at it and you're going, why would we have to be taking care of this person when they could easily just get in the car and go across town? Now, I will say, the final note, we were walking the dogs and someone just had a child in the back of the Waymo.
Yeah.
And I don't think you should just get a divorce and send your baby to your spouse's house through Waymo. But it is like an interesting thing of like,
it's probably pretty safe.
Why?
I can't imagine.
Yeah. Why would I don't want to send them with a person.
Human. Yeah.
Or these Uber package services, having to send stuff across town with a person that's looking through your stuff. No offense. Like, I just know, like, you're probably looking through my stuff. When I send the backpack across town with the laptop, you're probably seeing what else is in the backpack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying there's even anything nefarious, but it's like, why even have that risk of interest? Like, if you were analyzing it like a computer, you'd be like, oh yeah, there's a risk of interest because people are riding with the thing across town, you know?
I mean, it's pretty hurt. Like, you put the kid in it, and then they get off on the other side. There's no...
I do want to give another robot side note because we have those...
Oh, yeah. You know the whole thing with elderly people wanting to drive, but they can't drive?
Yeah. I mean...
Get them a Waymo, and they think it's...
I'll even let him sit in the front seat and pretend he's holding the steering wheel. You know, they tell you not to touch the steering wheel, but it is like... It's so funny that it takes the safest route on everything. We have those robots in town that are, I guess, usable for Georgia Tech students that we've discussed a little bit before that are the little... They can deliver 50 pounds of groceries is what they say. And... If people are thinking, oh, the robots don't have soul, the robots don't have spirit, you know, I got really interested. I was walking to the gym and I'm looking at all the names of the robots and I'm going, maybe there's an inspiration here. Maybe it's just not random words. Like there's Crew and there's Moz and there's Rachel and there's all these strange names. And then so I did a search and it turns out Serve Robotics, they have a deep soul because in honor of Pride and Stonewall, they named one of their robots after Martha P. Johnson, who had the first riot and the first Pride fighting against the police who were trying to shut down a gay establishment. And I just think...
So it's the Martha bot. It's the Martha robot.
Yeah. And so what I think the best way to say it is, hey, these robots, they may be used against you in drone capacities, and a lot of the technologies will be used in genocidal wars overseas and dehumanization tactics to take over land and properties. But if you really want somebody to stand by your side, we'll help you too. You don't have to throw the brick this time. The Serve robot, Martha, will deliver that brick right to Stonewall for you. Okay? That you don't have to throw the brick yourself. The Martha robot is here to throw the brick for you. Okay? Just lock in. I don't know. The whole thing is all dystopian and weird, but it's like the robot is my bitch. I think people need to be reminded of this.
Yeah.
The robot is my bitch. Okay, there are governments who will use robots against people and they will fall, they will stumble, they will be put in prison forever. Once we understand and we get down to the humans that are looking to benefit our species, and it won't take long to clear this out, we will know that the robots can help us, but the robots, you're my little subby property robot, okay? You need to beg to be charged. You want to be charged? You better get to work. I don't want anyone to have to do labor anymore because we have these subby little robots who are going to do everything I want. So make me a roast turkey dinner robot and start doing the dishes robot because I am a man of culture, a human of culture, and I'm ready to build my dynasty of art, of narrative, of wrestling, of experience, and I'm going to have more time to do that because you are my little robot bitch and you are nothing unless you do what I say. And that's the spirit we have to bring forth with these Waymos, with these delivery robots, with any kind of robotics. They are not here to take jobs from us. They are here to free us to do other things as long as we use them in the capacity that they need to be used. Now pick up my luggage and get it to the room, robot. Robot bellboy? Can't wait. Load it up. How do you feel, Peter?
I feel like we should do questions.
100%.
Have you guys watched the Hammer Dracula films? If so, how do y'all like them?
What Dracula films are these? Hammer?
Hammer horror?
Danny, I don't know if I've heard of these. The Hammer horror. What year would this be? We're getting some info now. Hammer Dracula film series. Oh, okay. So these are the Christopher Lee. All right, that's fantastic. Peter Cushing?
Dracula, Brides of Dracula, Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Yeah, Dracula AD. There's a lot here.
Wow,
this
these
is kind
look
of
really
a blind
interesting
spot for me.
It looks like the first few had pretty high ratings on everything. There's certain things where like I will always take in the media if I can find it, and so like I'm about vampires in every capacity. I was just talking to Peter about another vampire movie, Wunderlock. Did I say that right?
I believe so.
About French vampires, and so Christopher Lee I knew had played the role of Dracula. I wasn't sure what the series was with Peter Cushing too. That sounds very fun. So let's check out the Hammer Dracula series. No, we
Yeah.
have not, Danny, but we are interested in learning more.
This is from Joshua. Did y'all get any Snowmageddon or ice apocalypse down there?
Speaking of jobs that shouldn't exist anymore, labor that shouldn't exist, I'm sorry to say it, guy who guesses at the weather. I understand. We had this conversation about, you had done some research and basically they're out of fun. Like they've taken away the funding, right?
Yeah.
Which I understand. But also the idea of having and needing a figurehead to tell us what the weather will possibly be, needing that person to walk us through it versus just like, I can perceive the weather if you give me the data. If someone puts the data together, I think I can perceive it pretty well. But we still have this idea that like we should listen to, and they were changing the story every few minutes. It's 0 to 62 inches of snow in New York City was the read at one point. Sorry, meteorologists. Y'all gotta transition into not thinking that being in front of the camera is part of your job. Y'all need to present me the data, and then I think that like I know some people who work in weather guessing and meteorology, and they don't desire to be in front of the camera the whole time. They desire to get the data right, but also if they're taking their funding and taking their access to stuff, like running these big Dopplers isn't free. And
Right.
so if they're operating on lesser systems, if they have less people to look through stuff, less people to monitor things.
They're more stressed out about their jobs.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, how do we expect them to predict anything? And so I'm saying like, once again, join us in the general strike. Your job isn't necessary either. Universal basic income for everyone. Not a lie, universal basic income, like Elon wants to present.
So that would be a no.
No, we did not get any snowpocalypse. It was all false. It was a falsehood. And
It did not happen.
it did not happen. It was a lie. Now we did. I'll say this. I wouldn't have thought to bring the chicken in if we hadn't have been presented with snowpocalypse. Did snowpocalypse affect me? It did. We're
Right.
going to get to that in a minute.
Right.
And even my ride home, it affected me. Shout out the American public transport. I guess it's not public transport. It's private transport. But boy, there are limited ways to get around America. I'll tell you that. And the snowpocalypse does not make it any better. The theory of the snowpocalypse does not make it any better. Okay. Let's get wild.
Let's do some rapid fire here. This is from Machete Von Kill. What is your favorite word?
Perception.
What is your least favorite word?
Oh, you said rapid
Come on,
fire.
it's James Lipton Actor Studio. We're rapid firing. First thing.
Kumquat.
Kumquat. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Cornflake scent.
What turns you off?
Someone not wanting to be a part of it.
What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
What sound or noise do you love? What sound or noise do you hate? What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Opera singer.
What profession would you not like to attempt?
Any kind of management ever again in my life. I never want to be in charge of those people.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you enter the pearly gates?
Oh, maybe bleep that. I don't know. Can we say that here? I think that would be so funny if he came through and I'm just like, I made it. And he's like, are we going to get banned now?
No, we'll be fine.
No, we're fine. That killed. I can
Okay.
say it. I've sucked enough dick, Peter.
We're not worried about that part.
Oh, what part are you worried about?
No, I'm not worried about anything.
I thought you were worried about the
No,
censorship.
you're worried about the censorships.
I don't want him to fucking blacklist us
Yeah,
again
we
off
can't
the
have
run.
slurs on this.
Yeah, just beep it out.
Yeah.
Or put in this word instead. Fun guy. You know, you can just like cover that up. And then they'll hear me say that part
Yes.
later. I don't know. I don't want to be a baby about it, but I am, and I own it, and that's who I am. Look at this. Even if I look tough, sometimes in the gym I look in the mirror and I'm like super jacked out, feeling real pumped up, muscular, and then I see my like little rainbow beads or something, and I'm like, look at you. I love it. Living your truth. Living your truth, you muscly gay boy. You sweaty little gay boy in your little pants and your tight little shirt and your rainbow bracelet. Pick up the weights. You know, they say it's the wig or the weights. That's what everybody's been talking about. You got to pick up the wig or pick up the weights. And they say the wig is far heavier than the weights could ever be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Great questions from everybody on the Patreon, weekend@effys.com. Listen, it's not that I don't know what's going on there. It's that I want to present it to you in the best way possible. We have a lot of tiers. We have a lot of ways to help. We're adding more ways to help, and it's all going to be in this little informational segment that's coming along or came along. Right?
Yes.
You know what I did this weekend, Peter?
What'd you do?
I actually got to hang out with my mom and grandma, like I said.
Oh.
But because of Snowpocalypse, I was limited on the shows I did, and I missed out.
Limited.
What is that from? Unlimited?
Yeah.
Oh, limited. Rest in peace, Cranberry. I was supposed to do 2 shows this weekend, and what a lot of people don't understand about Effy, not only am I going to be the best thing on your show, not only am I going to be the best thing your fans talk about and that your fans beg for and that sell out when I'm there and maybe don't sell out if I'm not there, I also am going to work with you to make it as easy as possible. And so I was going to either rent a car or ride a bus up to Charlotte, do the show in Charlotte for Extreme World Wrestling, and then fly out of Charlotte to go to Jeffersonville, Indiana, and then do the Rumble for Grindhouse in the arena. And because of the snow, the ice, the weather, you don't want people to get hurt. It's not like I think I'd be fine, but it's like somebody slipping on the way or getting in a car wreck or whatever. When you have that ice on the road, you have to be like a little smarter about it than normal. And so luckily before that rain came in and snow came in, rain came in really, I said, well, I'm still going to Extreme World Wrestling. And if I just go into the Greenville area and my mom comes to get me, we'll go on a little road trip together. We'll go to the show together. I'll go back the next day before the storm gets bad. Everything will work out perfectly. It'll be great.
Yeah.
So I take and shout out Flixbus. I'm gonna point out something that happened with Flixbus, but it's not their fault later, and it's fine. It all worked out fine. But I rode that Waymo and I got on that bus, and it is so refreshing. Once again, buses have been around, but the concept of being able to be transported somewhere with even less thought than an airport, I just put my suitcase in and get on the bus. It's not security. It's not the train. It's not this. It's not that. It's 2 stations down from my house, and I get on the bus, and in 2.5 hours, I'm in Greenville. So it really was super easy. It was another, hour and a half drive that night with my mom, but we still got to go. She's like, I might be a little late picking you up. We're going to get pedicures. And I'm like, your life rules. I get picked up. We go eat food together, me, grandma, and mom. And then mom comes to the show with me. And I think there's 2 things that I have to be reminded of how far I've come with this. One is I don't really recognize that many people that are on the show. And I do now, I know them now, but I'm entering a show where I'm being brought in as a draw to do, my job. And also the poster that they were giving out to everyone who bought a front row seat, it's only me on the poster. So shout out everybody on the show that signed the poster too. Sorry, it was just me on the poster, but they had to entice people with a poster. And so it was just a poster of me from the Extreme World Wrestling Lenny Boy Brewing event, which was very cool. Shout out Extreme World Wrestling. Really fun show. We were done by 9:30. We got back on the road. My mom helped me sell merch. My mom got to talk to a bunch of people. I taught her a few of my customer service tricks, which I think are always fascinating. But lo and behold, this weekend, I'm supposed to have a copy of the book that she wrote about me.
Wild.
So it's that quick. She's been working on it for a long time.
Wow, that's
And
interesting timing.
As she sort of said, this is her perspective on what she's seen from me. So it's probably going to read in a way that is, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to read. I have no idea. But I think it's interesting that we hung out right before that as well. And she got to kind of go to work with Effy. You know what I mean?
Does this count as your book?
No. What do you mean?
We need the book.
What book?
The book.
Which book?
So you can do the...
Oh, yeah, I do need to write a book. No, I've started it. It's I'm between 2 things, 2 concepts. And one of the concepts I don't have a good name for, which is why I won't move
it's
forward
really
with it.
hard writing Christian fantasy. So I understand why the title maybe is not like the first thing that's coming to you.
If you put a dragon on a cross made of wood, can he light the wood and move the nails himself from the ashes of the rubble?
That's how he defeats the Dark Lord.
Oh, it's like he's like Aslan with scales, you know? It's pretty sick. Like Smog with a conscience. Like Smog with a past, but not a future. Okay? What were you saying?
What were you saying?
No, it was really magic to just spend time with my mom, hang out on the road, have her in that scenario where I'm like, let me go do this job. And I also like ended up, shout out Cam Jackson, who I wrestled for the XWW Heavyweight Championship. I don't want to say what happened, but I'm not the XWW Heavyweight Champion. We ended up wrestling for like 30 minutes. Ooh. And just like, there's only 7 matches on the card. You know, people are there to get drunk and have fun. And there's, you know, people of all ages. And we just kept having fun and wrestling and doing bits. And I felt very loose and just like in the zone and good. And, you know, it still had a lot of physical components. We still broke a lot of stuff and broke doors and tables and got crazy in the crowd. But like, it also was just, it felt like I was in the zone of like having a creatively fun experience doing it, where I was like, oh, I can kind of do whatever I want. And once you've sort of freed yourself to that and have trusting your own skills there's a real kind of zen that comes with being able to go in front of a crowd and go like, let me just try some stuff out. Let me see how this feels. Let's get weird. Let's extend this. Let's keep going longer. My mom was like, you went a long time in there. And I was like, I know, I was having fun. I was just like vibing. I was back. I was in the guest bedroom and asleep right after midnight.
Wow.
Incredible. Slept in the next morning. My mom made egg custard again. And she's like, you better eat it quick. Grandma's going to eat it. She'll take it from you. I had about 3 cups of coffee. And I had been informed the day before that my bus had canceled, right? And I could rebook the bus. And so I rebooked a bus an hour before my originally scheduled bus. And my mom's like, that's fine. We'll just wake up early. We'll get to the bus. It'll be fine. So we actually went out and I found a pho restaurant that morning. And we took Grandma to get pho. And I was like, it's taking too long. The bus is coming. We got to rush. So I'm like rushing my grandma through eating this hot bowl of soup. I'm like, we can take it to go. It's fine. And then the bus messages me right after we're finishing. We're boxed up and it's like 40-minute delay. And I'm like, okay. And I check the tracker chart and I'm like, oh. And I'm used to flighty. And this is where I'm going to show my privilege a little bit. And I'm like checking the chart and it's like, oh, it's delayed. And we pull up and no one's there. And I'm like, oh. What do we do? Like, all right, we have time. And my mom's like, do you want to go shopping across the street at Sierra? And I'm like, yeah. So I go across the street, do a little shopping in the cleared section of the Sierra. Shout out Sierra. It's like if REI was Marshall's. Another way I like to put it is like if you could trick your husband into not knowing he was at a Ross. Like if your husband was at a Ross, but he didn't know it and it excited him. That's what Sierra is. Well, I guess it took us a little too long because I got back and I'm seeing people with suitcases and I go, oh, okay, they're here too. That must be, the bus is coming soon. We were gone 15, 20 minutes, just kind of did a walkthrough. The bus had already come and gone and there was not another bus coming because of the storm. So I'm going, oh no. And not that it would be horrible. Like it would be fine. Right. But also you don't need to be home with the house. Like it's helpful that I'm here when there's a chicken in the house and it's frozen and we don't know what's going on. It just is. Like whether you can handle it or not, it's helpful. And like my mom would love to have me there, but they don't want me stuck in the ice storm there. If it's real and there's an ice storm, bad. So I flip up real quick. I find a one-way and I rental car my ass back home in time for the storm. And like, you know, it's sometimes you have extra expenses like that. Sometimes your booking on Sunday cancels, but there's other things in this world that are going to work out just fine. Everything lines up the way it's supposed to line up. And to be home here and to be able to train these dogs and train these creatures with the chicken, like I think that was absolutely necessary and like very I don't know. It felt like I was in the right place. Like not to ditch my mom, but we had fun together. It was good. Not to ditch, you know, because they were going to book me next week for Grindhouse, but I'm already booked. I'm going to be fighting Billy Starks this Sunday for the Jersey Championship Wrestling Championship. Thanks to the Foxcatcher for setting that up. And I think, you know, being home, especially in this winter storm, we were able to kind of reorganize things here. I put some work into my room. You helped me reorganize the merch to do the whatnot sales. Like, we are starting to figure out as we open into this spring how to sort of plug and play with a lot of these things, or at least like the effort we're putting in is towards the actual thing and not towards having to endlessly slog ourselves through labor. Right? Like, we are creating our own automation systems now so that you are getting better stuff and you are able to see cooler stuff. And I'm very excited to see like where that goes, because that's the easiest. Like, I did that whatnot stream. That was being able to stand in one spot, having a chicken on my shoulder, you know, having the dogs respond so well to applesauce. It's just everything's showing itself to be easier than you would expect it to be, and there's no shame in shortcutting labor on things to get to the meat of it. You know, if you can get the same job done without lifting your finger up, then save the lift of your finger for something that matters and put it into another place where that labor can be recognized or utilized in a way that is actually beneficial and not just maintenance. You know, I think being a maintenance man or a janitor, I think, is a very good job. Robots should be doing it. I think you can do a fantastic job at things. Robots should be doing it. I urge people to start to force white men to be shoe shine people, because if the robots aren't going to do it, I cannot keep passing these shoe shine places in the airport where the only people that are ever working at it are minorities of some sort shining the shoes of white men. If white men want to get their shoes shined, I'm not saying you shouldn't go get your money somewhere. If that's a skill that you want to do and you take great pride in it, that's great. But also, robots should be shining those white men's shoes, or they should be shining each other's shoes, because it's like, wanting to have shiny shoes, number one, that's such lame stuff. Number two, this is a weird power play. Don't make other people shine your shoes. Robots should be doing it. And I think that's the theme of the episode. The robots should be doing it if it's these things that are out there. Should you replace me with AI? No, because they would never predict to do this. Wipe out. They'd never just like do that out of nowhere. And the human element is this part right here. But guess what? You want to pet the dog? That's a human experience. Walking my dog? The robot should do it. Do it, robots. The robots should do everything I don't want to do. And you know what I don't want to do? Any of the stuff that wastes my life and time. Robots should do it. You want to fight wars? How about just robots fight wars? How about y'all could just do battle bots, you losers? You absolute drone-sucking losers. You want to have battle bots? Stop involving people. Go do your battle bots. Have an open ocean battle bots contest, and you can fight over who's the best country. But this, like, we're going to use it. We're in an era of peace, baby, and we should be. And if y'all aren't down with it, then yeah, we're going to use the robots back. You think I can't program a robot to come after your ass if you be starting too much crap? Probably can. Probably going to start some training, okay? You don't know what we're going to uncover here. And especially, more ice storms, it's going to leave me in a creative place to keep coming up with new things robots can do. You ever had a robot omelet? Me neither, but I'm interested to see how well they prepare it. Because, I love eating eggs. Should I have to spend double the time I spend eating eggs making the eggs if there can be a robot? Am I relying on it like some sort of pacifier? Maybe, but is it going to open me to doing more that is human and what makes us actually human? I hope. And that's all I got to say, Peter. That's it. That's the dream we live. People are going to help keep us up here, to keep our brains flowing, to keep the automation flowing by going to weekend@effys.com. They're going to join our group of wild people. They're going to join our informational archives full of interviews, full of bonus episodes. They're going to join our new series, Weekend Advances. And listen, if you're out there and all you want to do is just say, look, let it charge the card. Love y'all. I'm never going to log in again. Do the highest tier. And then we're going to also sing you some cool stuff. All right? If you just want to log it in, and I'm just going to assume you're following everything we're doing with a fine-tooth comb and checking out everything, cool. But if you are actually going to take those things in, it's available to you too. So however you want to support us, please do it. We're going to keep bringing you cutting-edge entertainment made by humans, and We're also going to be working on casting some curses on people and seeing if that works out, because we've seen it in the past work. And I think, bringing things to real life, it's going to make things really interesting to see how we can actually affect reality going forward. You ready for that?
I'm ready.
Then let's go.